Listen up.
It's the number one voice of the tri-state. I'm number one. It's Cooking Up 215. So let the show begin.
Turn me up.
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, and this is Cooking Up 215, where we get you up close and personal with your favorite artists, entrepreneurs, shakers, and move makers. And today's guest, we have Philadelphia's own Joanna Jane.
Thank you, Smooth.
Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely, absolutely.
For those who don't know, Miss Joanna, you get into real estate. You are CEO of O'Hara Development, correct?
Yes. Right. O'Hara Development Partners, CEO and founder.
CEO and founder.
Yes, and we are a community-focused organization. We specifically focus on reducing vacant houses and vacant lots in urban neighborhoods to increase equity.
Right, and right now you're just buying up Baltimore. I heard you own half of Baltimore. Am I wrong? Is my sources incorrect? Like, you know, you neck to neck with like the mayor, like, you know.
Oh my goodness.
But,
Mayor Scott, I did not tell him to say that. I did not tell him to say that.
Nah, but it's a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's always, you know, being spoke on about buying back the block, and you really out here doing it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always saying, "Oh, we don't own these blocks." You owning these blocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And teaching people too.
Right, and that's the biggest thing, right? Because it doesn't stop with us.
Right.
You know, it has to continue on. If you see that I'm able to do it with my organization, so can you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's talk about when you first got into real estate. So I heard your first couple of deals, you had to go back and sue some contractors and everything.
Oh, you've been digging. I like it, Smooth. Yes, I did. So I grew up in real estate.
Okay.
So my father, he is a retired carpenter. He's been in the union, all that great stuff. So I literally was like that little kid, you know, being picked up from school in a white utility van, going to different work sites with him.
Van.
Oh, in the work van.
Right.
And going to the original Home Depot, which was Heckinger's. Picking
I
up
didn't
lumber.
know that.
Oh,
that's a new gym. I always thought it was Home Depot.
Yeah, it wasn't always Home Depot. And so it was spinning my veins. So,
Right.
you know, growing up, fast forward, I knew regardless of whatever I did, you know, in college and other things like that, real estate was really like the tool to true wealth. I saw how my dad was able to gain financial independence at a very young age. And I knew that I wanted to do the same, if not maybe hit that even earlier.
And your father is from the West Indies, correct?
Correct.
And you are like the first generation of like American born from your father's lineage.
Yes.
So even for that in itself, I feel like, you know, you deserve applause because
Thank you.
It's always one of those things where they act like people come over here and they, you know, they don't really help the economy.
Correct.
You buying up the blocks. Like, you know what I mean? It's like all those things people say is just...
Yeah, it's definitely not true. Definitely not true. For anything, my dad showed me how to actually treat people as he was a landlord. I've never heard him get out of pocket, get crazy with any tenant. And he's very old school.
Okay.
He would actually go and have conversation with you and pick the rent up, drop off, you know, goodies and so forth. So I felt like the first of the month was great for me, not for the money, because I always got something from everybody.
Right. Go have some fun, get some stuff.
Right. Exactly. So he showed me the humbleness that everybody is at different places in their life.
Right.
And you treat them accordingly based upon who they are, not based upon like your authority because you're a landlord.
Because you can, because they owe you this, owe you that.
Exactly. So
Right.
I've taken that same humble spirit into now, as you say, you know, buying up blocks. I do the same thing when I go into the city. If I see somebody sitting on the stoop, I speak. If I see somebody cleaning out their yard, I speak. It doesn't matter whether I live specifically on that block or not.
Right.
We're still one family. Community engagement, connecting. I want to hear what you want to see in the community.
Right.
I want you to tell me what the last person did so I don't repeat it, right? You know, so I take that same humble spirit with me.
So you didn't really start real estate thinking that you were going to stay in real estate. Like you thought you might do a couple deals, one house here, one house there, and then next thing you know you had like 22 houses or something like that. So.
Right. So when I first started out, I really just was trying to have my own say. You know, sometimes when you're the baby and working with majority men, they don't always hear what you got to say. You know,
Right.
You know, keep
They
counting the
push
money.
you off to the side. Yeah.
Deal with the clerical work, right? And I just knew that I wanted to be able to step out on my own. So the first deal that you were talking about, That one I did have to end up suing a contractor. And of course, my dad didn't want me to get that particular property. I think he just wanted to be involved. But I think it was a great learning experience as well, because I learned about new mortgage products, how those work, how to hold contractors accountable, how to make sure that your scope of worksheet needs to be very detailed. If you're changing any type of line allocations, it needs to be very clear about where the money is going. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, because those are the things that people normally, you trip and fall on your face on when you jump into this real estate game. It's like, they always say like those first couple deals, finding those contractors is so hard. It's like you could really kill your whole project. Kill your budget, kill everything.
Absolutely.
And it's so you learn fast. And then it even turned into something else, because you got your before you build books, the ebooks that you have now. So you really took all the knowledge that you learned early on and really kind of giving out the game now, so that people don't make the same mistakes that you made so early on.
Yeah,
and I think that's part of like the thing that I feel like successful people owe to the community. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Hate to say owe like that, but I feel like in the world where we are just so left to fend for ourselves, we gotta, look up to our people that's already did it. You know what I'm saying? And they gotta help feed us and give us that game. All right, go ahead. You can do it. Do it this way.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's what you specialize in. You spoke in many times, many seminars. You was at the SOAR conference.
Yes, with Crystal Bailey. It was amazing.
How was it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it looked like a sea of like just rainbows and beautiful black women in all different colors. It was absolutely amazing.
But you gonna say unicorns.
No. I mean, shoot.
They unicorns.
We are. I don't know how we get the stuff done that we do sometimes. But in regards to Before You Build, the major thing about that book is Before You Build, building from the heart of the community. See, when people think about buying a block, they may think like, she went and got a house on auction, right? Or, she, worked with a wholesaler. And honestly, it was divine, because I put God's people first. I was literally able to go into a community and knock on doors, knock on church doors, and ask questions about what happened here, who's the decision makers here. And then full circle, just, trying to find my purpose and what this new world of real estate was going to be for me. I ended up at the Department of Housing and Community Development. I didn't even know I was going there. I got invited and didn't know where I was even going, because I was like, I just want to be able to make a difference, but I don't want to just flip a house. I don't want to just be a landlord. I want everything that we're doing make a true impact.
Is that where the change came? Is that where you went from just wanting to make a few deals to being fully wholehearted in this game?
Oh yeah, and it found me. When I went to Baltimore, I went there with one house.
Right.
And then as they heard what I was doing and what I was willing to do, the city opened up. The community opened up.
They just welcomed you with open arms.
And I mean, sometimes not welcome with full open arms, but it was like, listen, it's better than what we have, right? And that's why I say building from the heart of community is so important. Where do you go to find out what does the community even need? You can't go into a neighborhood and impose your norms and what you want on somebody else.
Right.
So maybe they can't afford homes. So maybe you need to go and offer affordable housing from a rental aspect. Or maybe they do need home ownership. And now you're able to go in there with strategic programs and knocking on doors with different financial institutions so they can offer down payment assistance. So my background is actually, I have a master's in social work, macro social work.
Right.
So I've taken the two worlds and wrapped them together. So I don't ever just look at just the house that I'm doing a nice kitchen in and putting in good floors. Is who is the end buyer? And what can we do to support them to stay in this house?
Right.
And if that can happen with more people that look like us, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like such a different, warped approach than most people. Because I would say that that's one of the biggest problems of why people have such an issue with the gentrification going on in Philly. Because there's people that's coming in and they're just doing what they want to do. They're creating a community that they see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole Ridge Avenue is different. It's
totally
nothing like what it used to be.
Right.
And then, like you said, it's about building the community. There's nothing really there for the community as far as I see when I drive through. You know what I'm saying? So it just always looks like people come in and they're doing things to try to create benefit for themselves.
Right.
Create money for themselves. Where's the things for the kids? Where's the schools at?
Right.
Where's the, repurposing other playgrounds? Like, are they doing all that?
Right, exactly.
But and you started with the knocking and with the talking to the people. That's just, it's great to hear that. Because I've never heard anybody, start their real estate journey with really knocking on doors and wondering how can I come change this community for the better?
Yeah.
Not just make $1.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And now I think our economy is forcing us to have those conversations. So even if you were a traditional, flipper, right? With the interest rates going up and you taking a chance on buying a property, you want to know about some of these government programs and how can you have real community impact so you can qualify for some of these dollars to reduce your development costs.
Exactly.
So that's another reason why I'm being very open with educating people about what is community development, because it's very different from just buying a house and flipping it and putting it on the market.
So let's talk about it. Tell us a little bit about community development.
So community development is a holistic approach to strengthening the neighborhood.
Right.
And for me, that focus is real estate. So as I was just mentioning, and I've knocked on a couple doors. We do have a nonprofit as well where people that come through that program, that home ownership initiative that we have, they can qualify for up to $53,000 in down payment assistance. That don't come overnight. That comes from finding out what's on the state level, what's on the city level, and then also knocking on doors of financial institutions, say, hey, if you are going to be in this neighborhood, getting the mortgages in this neighborhood, how can we partner together so we can also make sure that we're supporting these people to stay in the house?
So is that what did you build some partnerships with some mortgage companies and things of that sort?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we spoke on, talk about the Akuru Midway offering.
Aruka Midway. Okay.
Aruka, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's totally cool. So Aruka Midway happened because when you're often going into a neighborhood where you have to create the market value. Now, it's always sexy when you can walk in and be like, oh, yeah, houses already selling for this, for that.
Right.
But when you have to create the market.
When you starting that wave.
Oh, my God. It's a whole other muscle. And then when you're doing that with multiple houses, that's the only way that it can really happen. So I didn't have all the money in my back pocket to be able to do it. Now, I did sacrifice a lot on my own in the very beginning to get that first one up and going. But then when we realized, well, we're still facing redlining. We're still facing banking institutions that no matter what mayor and city council has planned, no matter what the state has planned, they're not lending to us. I'm going to say it again. They're not lending to us. So I said, okay, we're going to do a campaign. I've never raised this type of money before in my life, but I'm going to roll the dice and see what happens. And I think more than anything, even though we didn't hit the 1.6 million, it showed people that we can come together, pool our sources together, and buy back our neighborhoods.
Buy black. I like the black part. You know?
So that's what that really was about. And it's amazing to be able to look at it now and be like, yeah, we bought this block. Right. So it's not just Joanna led the way, but we bought this block.
So is it
Aruka Midway?
Aruka Midway. So it's a collective of people from the neighborhood or whatever,
or even if wherever, you know, whether you connect with it because you service people there with different product services, or you connect with it because you grew up in a neighborhood that looked like it. It was a national campaign and people invested.
And they invested. Now you can use that money, and they also get
a return.
Yeah, they get a return on their investment. So now they got an income coming in. The neighborhood is better. Yeah, it's black and beautiful.
Black and beautiful.
Black and beautiful.
And it can be repeated. But it's just using these systems that honestly have been around for a long time and saying, I want a seat at the table for my neighborhood.
And I always get so confused because that's one of the things I always try to encourage people. It's like, you don't have to do anything on your own.
Correct.
It's a sea of people out here. And there's always been just this issue of getting everybody on the same page or understanding what the mission is, or even just trust. There's so much distrust in the black community. You know what I'm saying? So how was it that you got so many people to trust your vision or understand, the real goal and to jump behind it like they did to even get to that 1.5 or 1.6 million?
So for me, it was what I believe it is, because I think other people would have to tell you that than I would. But what I believe it is that people saw me out there doing the work. So when we were trying to get attention to the neighborhood and we would do neighborhood cleanups, I was out there cleaning up.
Yeah,
I grew up in North Philly, and on Saturdays my mom said, you got to go outside with the pond salt and everything and clean up in front of the stoop. So I said, okay, that's what we're going to do. Right. That we're going to be out here cleaning up. When we did anything, I was involved. It wasn't, it was hands-on. Right. So I think by people seeing that, they were like, okay,
it's a natural trust. They see
something,
and they believe
it's either she crazy or she's worth, following this woman and seeing what she has going on.
Right. Okay. Well, I know you got a lot going on, but I know I'm getting a little hungry.
Same here.
And we're going to dip a little bit more into it, but we about to get into this food. It's your boy Smooth. We got Miss Joanna with us. and we'll be right back. It's cooking up. Let's go.
It's our favorite part of the show.
That's your favorite? Yes, sir.
Ah, chef, what you got cooking?
You already know.
You already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, and it is my favorite part of the show. It is time to get into that food. Today's chef, we have Chef Henny. Chef Henny, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And you specialize in Spanish and soul food.
Yes, I'm Dominican
Okay.
and Haitian, so I specialize in Latin foods, anything from Mexican to like Dominican, Puerto Rican food, and also a little bit of soul food.
That's a nice mix.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican and Haitian.
No, Dominican and Haitian.
Dominican and Haitian. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I mixed my things up. I done
It's
heard
so
everything.
good.
You done mix. You
Yes,
throwing so many
yes,
things out there.
yes.
But no, that's a nice mix. So you probably get down in the kitchen for real.
Yeah, I try to. It's a good workout.
Yeah, you well versed in all the different foods. So
Yes, absolutely.
tell me about what you got for us right now.
Today I have seafood quesadillas. They're crab and shrimp, topped off with a cilantro lime sauce. And the sauce is only 40 calories because I do specialize in meal preps as well. Yeah, and then
so
I
it's
have
good and healthy.
yes.
I like
We
that
try
mix.
to be like,
Yeah.
you try to make some good decisions.
I know I'm working, watching my figure, so that's good.
Yes,
I like
yes, exactly. And then we have some Brea chicken tacos served with a Brea sauce. So it's a little spicy.
I like
Just
a little
just
spice.
letting you know, yes.
It ain't crazy spicy.
No, I try not to make it crazy spicy.
I'm
I
not
try
gonna
to kind
regret
of
it
make it
later.
medium. No, you're not going to need milk. You're good.
All right,
You're
cool.
good, yeah.
Long as you know, because if you
Yeah.
watch the show, y'all know Miss Smooth with all the spicy.
Yes.
But yeah, all right, that sounds real dope. So let everybody know how they can contact you in case they want some meal prep or they want some of these tacos or some soul food.
You could find me on Instagram at Get You a Henny. That's GETCHUA Henny HENNY. I'm a drink, so you can't forget my name.
Oh, they're not gonna forget no Henny.
They can't forget Henny.
Yeah, Get You a Henny.
Yes. Check me out on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, and you could email me at getyouahenny@gmail.com as well. For any catering, meal preps, coquito season right now. So hit me up for the coquito. I make it with rum and Henny, however you want it. So light or dark, I got you.
I want a coquito.
Yes, absolutely.
We appreciate you coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Get You a Henny. It's your boy Smooth. Let's get back to the show. Let's go. You already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, and we right back at it. We still got Miss Joanna here with us. And we got these lovely tacos that Chef Henny prepared for us, as well as some quesadillas. And you said you love seafood, so we got some crab meat with some shrimp. Listen.
Oh, we going in?
Yeah, I don't like to talk too much when the food come out. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm like, I got to get a bite.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm
we
ready.
going hands in. I know you looking all cute and everything. Roll the sleeves up.
Roll the sleeves up a little bit.
You know, we got a little dippage and everything going on over here. Shout out to Chef Henny.
I'm gonna skip over the plate.
Yeah, they can't smell it, but if y'all could.
Oh my gosh, amazing!
It smells so good. Henny said she wanted me to taste the sauce, so I'm gonna taste the sauce for y'all. Tell you what the sauce here for. Y'all heard the crunch?
That's right.
That's it.
And she did not cheat on the seafood.
It's all up in there. You wanna go to a restaurant and they got the crab cakes, and they be more like a stuffing cake.
It's powder.
Yeah, ain't no crab in this. I'm like straight stuffing cake. That's good. I go for a second dip. And the dip popping. And the spice just right, Henny. Like you said. Ain't too much of a kick. Just right. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It seems like you want to devour this real well after
Yeah,
the
I
show.
mean, I tell you, it go like that. They know me. I'm like, Smooth gonna eat. But I'm gonna eat while we talk.
Sure.
So, you just bought a plot of land in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Ujama Cove.
Ujama Cove is the name now.
Ujama Cove. You said the name now. Was it a different name first?
So we never named it before.
Okay.
So we intentionally did this with the community, having different events, and we had them decide what they wanted the name to be. So
That's dope.
I remember one of the events we had like these sandwich boards, and we asked them, like, what do you want to see here? Like from the kids to older adults. We got everything from splash pads to benches, workout equipment, chess tables. We had another board where we asked them, like, what do you want the name to be? And with our board, we put the names together, and it's Ujamaa Cove, stands for collective economics, right? One of the Swahili principles. Kwanzaa, and then the Cove is the gathering place. So it just totally fits. So it's AKA the Cove.
What was the motive behind it?
So green space really found me, and that's what sometimes people don't really know, like what green space is, and it's like, don't even overthink it. Like green space is exactly that.
Green space.
Everything that's green, parks, gardens, everything is green.
Right.
So this land was actually in the backyard, basically, of one of our properties. So we were thinking about, like, what else did we want to do besides just having properties that we would purchase and sell for home ownership?
Right.
And I'm gonna try to make this story short. We were looking on a different block for a small lot, like 15 by 90. We can probably do like a little garden or something.
Right.
So I called downtown, and they say, well, we won't approve that purchase because you already have a garden nearby. You actually have a farm. I was like, what? I was like, there's no farm. I said, I promise you.
Because when you say farm, you picture like some big land, some cows,
Yeah, right.
something to
Exactly.
graze
Like,
at.
what is she talking about? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, here we go with the city. They're looking at their map, telling you it's one thing. You're not walking these blocks with us. You don't know
see
what's
really there.
Exactly. So one Saturday, I ended up meeting one of the neighborhood association members at this area that they said had a farm. And when I walked closely, I was like, oh, snap. I see the hoop ring. That's potatoes. And I look a little bit deeper. I'm like, oh my God, that's apple trees.
Oh, it's really a farm. They growing something back there.
So much illegal dumping. You couldn't tell. So whoever had the place before, they stopped managing it. It went to the wayside. And then ultimately the community was just like, we're tired of this. Like, we don't want this to be here. We already got, vacant houses to deal with. This is just an added eyesore.
Right.
As we investigated and did more research, we learned that how, again, through redlining, the lack of healthy green spaces have affected us from depression, anxiety. We don't have healthy places to be able to to sit, stay away from, all the heat.
Right.
So all of that is beaming on you every day. You're not seeing the gift of life in front of you.
Right.
So green spaces is very, very important. So eventually, after all the different meetings and making sure like the community was good with us doing this,
Right.
we purchased it. And we purchased it last year, September.
Congrats.
Thank you. And it's a little over a quarter acre of land. I was looking for 15 by 90.
And you got a nice little quarter.
I got a nice little quarter. Right,
That's
right.
crazy.
And it's community designed 100%. And it
That's
would
probably
be,
even better.
yeah.
Because you could really play with it now and really
Right,
get busy.
but it just was not what I had no idea. Like, when people ask me, like, we wasn't looking for this, I promise you.
And that's crazy because a lot of your journey has seemed to have been like just so
Divine
walking in
order.
blind faith. It's just like, Lord, just push you in those directions. You
I'm
looking
glad you
for,
said it.
16 by 90, and then you got a quarter acre. You know what I mean? You go
Right.
over to with one property thinking you just might buy a house, and next
They're
thing
like-
you know, you joined the whole community. You know?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's really dope. That's really crazy. It just shows like when you trust, trust in God, trust in faith, trust in the
Yeah.
universe, just trust something, just walk in your mission
Right.
pretty much. Understand what you're trying to accomplish. And, some people just lead with money. And it's like, money is not the goal.
Yeah.
Those things come when you walk in your purpose.
Right, absolutely.
When you do what you really want to do and you serve in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I could tell you this, the thing that really pushed me to move forward was the last lender I went to, hoping that I could be able to get a construction loan to fix up this house. And he says, I don't care what's happening on the blocks aside, you're not going to get that funded. He said, good luck. And I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. And that's what gave me the urgency to be like, I got to figure out how to raise money. I got to figure out how to get this done. And in the midst of all this happening is when I got connected with like the commissioner and all these other people that were asking me like, do you want more? We will support you. If you want to be able to get the rest of this block.
They just start offering it.
And I just was like, well, all right, we gonna figure
Let's
it
do
out.
it, yeah. That's the one thing. He must not know. You never
Yeah.
tell no black woman she can't do something. She gonna do it
I'm
time 10.
gonna figure it out.
She gonna get it
figure
done.
It out. And now when I pull up to work, it's like, this us. Our guys, they literally go from one house to the next house. They work, they park for the day, and that's it. And now we got this beautiful park that's like walking distance. It's almost like an extended backyard to the house that you already have. It's beautiful.
And that's the thing. People don't even understand, even when it comes to green space, just right now we're in such like a mental health awareness, understanding how we are affected by the things around us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when you're in Philly and you walking in these blocks, it really do bring you down some.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no trees. It's all houses. It's row houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the earth really got an energy to it.
Yeah, it has to breathe. It has to breathe. So in the space, what we did, because some people were like very much, we want the farm, even though it wasn't being maintained for years.
Right.
And then some people were like, we don't want it at all. So we found a common ground, and we actually kept the apple trees, cherry trees, fig trees. And we're actually putting some planters on one end, so that way the kids, because there's a private school and there's a public school right nearby, that they can come there and have outdoor science classes and that type of stuff. So
That's
like you
super
can
dope.
really, anything, let me tell y'all, anything that you walk by that you think is vacant, it's not possible, just change your mindset a little bit and just say, what if this actually could work? And all you need to do is start talking to your council person. Go downtown, say, hey, I know that this has been vacant for X amount of time. This is what I'm willing to do with it. This is what I can do with it. I've already spoke to the block captain or the neighborhood association. There is not anything that we can't do. Money is not our issue. We just got to come together as a people to just have the solutions right there.
Right. So talk to me about disrupting the line. Because we talking about coming together,
Yeah.
finding a solution.
Right.
So disrupting the line.
Right, absolutely. So Disrupting the Line is actually going to be a 3-day virtual course. And I'm bringing some real heavy hitters that know this world of community development inside and out. And we're talking about it from understanding redlining for this purpose. Because if we only look at it from a home ownership aspect, we're missing it. We're completely missing it. We have to see the domino effect of how mortgage restrictions and how it played also into our educational system and how it then also plays into our green spaces or the lack thereof, which then plays into our mental health. It's a whole domino effect. But we don't want to just stay there and talk about it, right? Because we could talk about redlining all day.
Right.
I'm using myself as an example along with some other amazing people to say, here's an example of what you could do if you're tired of that neighborhood looking this way. Or if you have a purpose within yourself that you're like, listen, I want to be able to service the older, population. How can I do this through real estate? How can I do senior living? Or how can I do veteran housing? So it's all through community development, but you got to know the lines that you're breaking first. Because if you just jump out there and say, I'm gonna get a block, you're gonna fall on your face because you don't know what the boundaries are that's been restricting it for so long. So you really don't know what you're fighting against.
You don't.
At all.
And they put some real deep roots into these planning.
Oh,
it's
my
so
goodness,
crazy
yes.
when you look into it, like how they put certain highways in certain places
Absolutely.
and bridges, and you know what I mean, just where they put the city of where you live versus the downtown area, like really to kind of push people in certain areas, keep them away from certain things, keep them not able to reach this and that. Like, it's really crazy the way that the city was built.
Right, absolutely. All through fear. When we go back and we understand how redlining was even started, they were told that Black people were invading their neighborhoods. Invading. So I'm off the break. I'm scared.
Right.
I need to protect myself, my family. The husband got the gun.
Yeah,
The kids is ready with the pitchforks.
You up in arms.
Right, and this became law across the board, right? So we have to understand what we're breaking, and we have to understand why real estate is important, not just because it's a wealth tool, but it's also like this is our right that was taken. And if we don't know what we're working towards, then you just kind of out here just doing it because it's a trend. It looks hot. Right.
Doing it because it's the thing to do, not understanding how you can really change things.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And when you, like, I guess, come at it from that angle, you see how big the picture really is. And it's really a big picture. I'm glad that you're doing everything you're doing and you're educating people.
Thank you.
And you're bringing so many people together and with a real mission.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's really about building a community at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not just filling your pockets and making houses look nice on a block. It's really got green
and we
spaces.
do that too. But yes.
It's about doing it all. You know what I'm saying?
Doing
I
it
think
all.
that's part of Black excellence.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's about, we know how to create generational wealth while also healing. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing too. Like, you can't just rape and pillage the land.
Absolutely.
And then when you just building, you're doing the same thing they doing.
Doing the same thing. But if you knew the systems, right? If you knew how to go about layering down payment assistance, if you knew how to be able to identify property tax abatements for 7 years, because it's been vacant for X amount of time, that could be the very house that you need. You going up to the county, all the stuff right down here, and you wonder why they coming down here. You leaving what's yours to go to the county and have to mow an acre of land that you can't afford.
Come on, it's the gym. It's the gym segment. Give us some gems, because I know you got them. So we got some people out there that might not have the funds. They might have a little bit. They might have nothing.
Right.
Tell them how can they start helping serve the community as well as getting some property.
So I would say if you feel like your funds are somewhat low, right? You're going through transition. I would say identify a property that is definitely and clearly below market value, right? It's been sitting for a long time. It probably looks like the mail is backed up or no mail is going there at this point. And I would say start investigating. The Department of Housing and Community Development. Who used to own this house? How long has it been sitting there? It's an eyesore to the community, and I'm willing to buy it. Sometimes it's you picking up the phone. It's not on the MLS. It's not on Zillow. It's not on any of those things. It's about you just picking up the phone and asking a question. Now, how do you find the money? So there's so many ways that you could do it. If you are working a W-2, meaning like you have a 9-to-5, you might have some retirement funds. You can actually pull funds from that to purchase that, right? That's the opportunity that you can be able to do that.
Right.
You can be able to connect with a fellow friend or family member and y'all pull your sources together. So that's another opportunity. You might decide to live in one part of the property and have 2 units upstairs. Now you house hacking.
Right.
So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. And I mean, as you can hear, I'm kind of running it off.
Yeah,
I coach people on this type
You
of
got
stuff
a big arsenal.
all the time. So it's not just one way that you could do it, but there's a lot of ways that you could do it. But I think the pooling your sources together is always the best way. Once you're done with the property, you can always refinance it because now you've bought into a decent market, and you can pay back your homie that helped you out, or you could pay yourself back and put your money back into your retirement account, and now you got a cash flowing property or a property that gave you a lump sum.
Yeah, I'm glad you keep saying that pooling together. I think we need people to preach that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we gotta understand we're stronger together. You know what I'm saying? It's more money together, more resources together, stronger mind together. And we can help a lot more people when we work together.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When you work by yourself, you only serve yourself.
That's it.
And that's it. So it's just like, people gotta come together more often.
Yeah, the me, myself, and I don't work.
And don't.
It don't work.
It don't.
And
It
you be
don't at
tired.
all. Exactly. That's nothing too. Now you're doing everything by yourself. You got no team.
No
you know?
team.
But we definitely got to change. We got to get that mentality together. That's what, like, one of my biggest goals with Philly is just like helping them understand, like, if we come together, we can accomplish anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole world out there. Everybody going against each other on this small little field.
Yeah.
Like even you from Philly, but you
Yeah.
operating out Baltimore heavy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all want Philly? I'm gonna go head over there.
And there's more than enough out here we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. We don't have any reason to be backbiting and this. It's a lot. You want a vacant house? Go out the out the front door.
And you're gonna find one.
You're gonna find one, right?
Walk around the
But
corner.
ultimately, it's what's your purpose in it?
Right.
When it's all said and done, what's going to sustain it?
So what's next for you? What else do you have on the plate?
So what's next for me is coaching. I'm taking some time. You know, we pretty much secured this phase of the project. So I got a couple years in front of me to kind of slow up a little bit, pay a little bit more time to my personal life and do some coaching and teaching. So I look forward to doing that. And we have a project management arm of our business that's starting. So that's amazing. Working with some larger institutions that are actually able to, you think I got a block, they got neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Right, so they got some work for us, but the biggest thing for me is disrupting the line at this point, which is coming up December 1st through the 3rd, and then in 2023 we'll be actually having some community development coaching. Like y'all got to stay tuned for that. It's going to be like none other.
Please let us know.
Absolutely, and we're only taking a select few with us because it's not for everybody. You got to know, not that you kind of want real estate, not that you kind of want to operate in your purpose. It's like, no, I know I want to do this and I want to do it through real estate and I want to be able to be coached and trained and I'm willing to travel.
And y'all out here giving that knowledge out.
Yep.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I wanted to talk about your daughter's Facial, what do you call that?
Lee Essentials. Yes, my
Yeah.
sugar plum. She's well, her name is Haley. Let me say it correctly. So Haley, she is the founder and CEO of Lee Essentials, which is a natural skincare line, and she has her first product, which is a body butter. And again, that came out of purpose, right? So she was born with eczema.
With eczema, right?
Yeah, she was born with eczema, and we were really just like couldn't put everything on her skin. We couldn't stand the caked up part. I'm gonna have to tell this little part of the story. She used to do this like this all the time. Anything that she could get on is just it used to drive me crazy. So we just really started catering to like natural oils, and that was her thing. And one day I go into my freezer and I'm seeing all these like old chapstick capsules. Like, what is this in my freezer? And she's like, Mom, I just made some chapstick. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, wait a minute, you did what?
And she just came up with it on her own.
And she just came up with it on her own. And I said, what did you do to do that? And before I knew it, we had her in an entrepreneur program out Cabrini University, and she was understanding unit price and cost and all this stuff. And she said, okay, I'm going to put the chapstick on hold, but I'm going to do the body butter, Mom.
Right.
And the rest is history. And now she knows she wants to be in the field of dermatology.
That's so dope. So super dope. Look at y'all out here being black and great. I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
Thank you.
So please let everybody know how they could get some knowledge from you, the before you build ebooks and everything like that.
Okay.
Let them know where to find you.
All right, so you can go to, well, first of all, let me make sure that y'all know this. We talked about disrupting the line. The way that you can get this information, I want you to definitely go and follow Real Dev School. That's REALDEV School. Follow that on all social media platforms. You can actually get a couple books if you sign up for Disrupting the Line. So you don't want to miss that bundle price. But long story short, when you get to the ebook portion, you can go to beforeyoubuildebook.com if you want to get that individually. But go to Real Dev School. You want to be able to sign up for Disrupting the Line. You don't want to miss this at all. And you can always follow me personally, The Real Joanna Jane, on all social media networks.
Listen, it was so wonderful having you here.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed the tacos.
Oh, I'm definitely going to dive into
Chef
them.
Henny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they already, once the camera's on, it's coming out the shirt and everything.
Absolutely.
But thank you again so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
All right.
It was wonderful. I look forward to getting some more knowledge from you as
Absolutely.
well. You already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth. I Miss Joanna Jane here. It's Cooking Up 2 and 5, and we out.